Impossible battle number 8, and this one is really something. We have 2000 against 6000 here, Uesugi against Takeda, and this one comes to me from the Avenger at Illapa. That's a name I remember from years bygone, and he's really gotten himself into a difficult situation here, because we have a rank 1 Masakage, that's Kenshin's brother, and this guy is green as grass because no stand and fight, nothing, 1 XP, and he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units of Yari Ashigaru, no XP, 1, 2, 3, 4 units of Bo Ashigaru, no XP, and the retainers, and that is to repel a fucking horde of 6,200 on the mark. Shingen among their number. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 units of cavalry, so that's 9 units of mobile cavalry to track and deal with. That's going to complicate this. We've also got samurai, Yari samurai, Yari Ashigaru with XP, 6,200, so this is going to be rough. Really need a proper plan here for everything to just go perfectly, and I think I can do that. I have brainstormed the absolute shit out of this one, figured a lot of things out, and got some good ideas, so we'll see how it goes. First of all though, I'm going to read out the last 2 paragraphs of this email to me. He set the context for me, which is nice, and I understand the wider scale, scope of the campaign, what's going on. So I'm going to quote these last 2 paragraphs so you know what's going on as well. The Takeda declared war immediately without even allowing the peace treaty to stand for 1 turn. 2 armies appeared from the woods south of Echigo and besieged the settlement with a proper example of spam. Yep. I wish I had left Masakage standing outside the settlement so his forces could withdraw north and escape, but as is, they are trapped inside a level 2 castle against overwhelming odds. Yep, look at that fucking balance of power. Please, Shingen must pay for his treachery, and I'd rather not lose Kenshin's only surviving brother if at all possible. I could hold them back with the Yaris just fine, but the bows have really been messing me up. If anyone can win this battle, it's you. If the battle cannot be won, kill as many of his generals as possible. I'm talking full on regicide if you can. If the battle is lost but Shingen is killed, it will make the reconquest so much easier. Avenger. So he wants me to, if I don't win, slaughter the family members here to soften up the faction, cut the head off the snake. So that's something I was trying to do here when I was planning this. I wanted to take out the generals and the cavalry as quickly as possible, so we need a plan for that. This is the fort, level 2. You can tell the level of the fort from the deployment screen by looking at the garrison. If you have a retainer unit and 1 Yari Ashigaru unit, that's a level 2 fort. And it doesn't make much difference, I think it just adds towers. So this is one of the forts where we have a big deployment area outside the fort. It's extensive, so we have choice.
Uesugiの武者ども、親兄弟のことは考えるな。お家に対する揺るぎないお務めと信心だけを念頭に置け。その先に勝利はある。一歩たりとも後退せんぞ。わしは最後まで戦う。お主らもきっと同じ考えであろう。誰が武田の大将か長い間分からなかったが、はたと気がついた。率いるは誰でもいいのだ。軍全体が間抜けゆえ、大将など必要ない。ここは実にすごいよの。大屋島広しといえど、これにかなう城はないじゃろう。我が軍の力が加わらば、その凄さが増すというものじゃ。今日の戦、お主らに不名誉は一切ない。お主らは一門の歴史に名誉ある一巻を書き加えるだけじゃ。
I've never actually played as the Uesugi. I don't remember doing it. And once again, post-commentary analysis. This one relies extremely heavily on the slopes. Even more so than in a regular field battle, I'll be relying upon the slopes that have nothing whatsoever to do with the actual fort that I'm supposed to be defending. There's no victory that can be achieved in this fort. This is just a flat plateau with walls denying access to it, but once they get into it, it's over. It is fucking over. I've got to just not let them arrive and get into the fort. Especially the reinforcing army. The reinforcing army has got to be headed off. Preferably in a choke, preferably on a slope where I am on the right side of the up-down advantage-disadvantage that this game bestows so generously. So that's pretty much it. I absolutely essentially have to pick all my fights and have them happen on slopes. You can already see by my unit placement here that I am putting my Yari Ashigaru in position to take advantage of slopes. I'm inviting them in, daring them to approach me, and taking favourable positions with slopes that I can avail myself of within 1 or 2 clicks, preferably. These 3 units here are in a perfect position to take this fight, and then I'm hoping that other units will try and take them on and end up impaled on the Yari walls uphill. The cavalry are charging me already. I've got 3 units of cavalry there, and I really need to take these guys out of the fight at the outset. It's so essential that I don't get flanked and have my Yari Ashigaru with their fragile morale taken out, routed. I need to keep all of my units in the game and use them really well, and hopefully pick up some XP in these early skirmishes. I'm not exposed to any bows really yet. There's only 1 unit of bows there on the screen at the back of the right cluster, but the left cluster is all Yari Ashigaru that I'm letting approach the Yari walls, and the cavalry are taking on my right group of Yari walls, and I'm hoping that at the back these units here are kept at bay by my bow Ashigaru positioned on the walls. They have to do that. It's all on them to stop everything at the back from getting up. I'm trying to just buy myself time. I have to defeat this reinforcing army with my Yari walls here while my bows hold the fort. It's a coordinated, valiant effort. It's a hell of an uphill battle, but if everything goes perfectly, I have a feeling that this can actually work. And I'm relying on the chain route for this, I really am. We need the chain route because we're not going to win this. The bows just whittle down Yari walls too quickly, too easily, too gradually. As the fight goes on, your men just get dropped. So I really need to take the fight to them decisively and make the right moves. Like, see that right there? I'm charging into a Yari Ashigaru unit head on with a cavalry unit. And it worked. I got the break. The unit broke. Perfect flank. That's better than I could have hoped. I'm trying to juggle Yari wall and no Yari wall. I'm toggling that shit over and over again. I wonder how many times I toggle that during this battle. The mobility and the Yari wall combat advantage. I need all of it in all of these situations in varying amounts. And I'm doing my best to have my units be as effective as possible. Whenever they've got a head-on fight down a hill, I will try to Yari wall where possible, but if I need them to pull through and exploit an opportunity, I'll have them in regular formation and just pull them through. And you can see all the reinforcements coming now. Holy shit, this is brutal. They're just pouring out the trees towards the river, and I'm actually mopping up here. I'm trying to charge down bow units where possible. That bow samurai there, I caught them before they did much damage. And these fights, oh man, like that's probably the worst fight so far there. That unit of Yari Ashigaru fighting on level ground or up a slope a tiny bit into that cavalry unit. But I absolutely need the cavalry units to all die. Alright, and this is it. This is the make or break. This is crunch time. The army is arriving at the choke on the bottom of the slope I have to stem this tide on this slope right here, right now. If we don't do it, we lose. So I'm pushing my Yari walls in under archer fire. There's nothing else I can do. I've got to take the arrow fire, and I'm getting frustrated now because in this most crucial moment, this most utterly essential period, I'm getting that interface glitch where my commands are not going through, so the game's actually fucking me on top of the enemy army. But I do my best. Look at that there! Man, what the fuck? Yeah, that is so frustrating, man. But despite that, I've stemmed the flow. The red tide has halted. Masakage is alive, and I'm keeping him out the melee there. There's a dismounted general unit there. No wait, a Yari Ashigaru and a general. 2 units there behind my line. They could fuck everything up. The presence alone is causing me morale penalties, but look at that. They're flashing. They're flashing. They've routed. The chain route has set in. It's the beginning. This is it. It has to happen. If this chain route doesn't happen here, we lose. They have to route. It has to be contagious. It has to spread through all of their ranks, all of their lines. They have to all break right here, right now. I've got to push the advantage, keep the momentum. I've got to keep a new unit routing every 5 seconds and have that morale penalty just keep adding and adding and adding until they all route. If one unit doesn't route, the others will rejoin them and come back into the fight. And my units are routing. And they've got a cavalry unit there just running around, fucking this up. But they're flashing as well now. And there's a fucking blob.
Come on, shatter, you pricks.
There's a blob packed into that choke. Holy shit. And it looks like it. It could be it. Is that it? Nope. It's looking bad. There's units in the fort taking it. They got through the archer fire and been charged in the back by a unit of light cavalry that survived. It looks like they've all routed, but they haven't shattered because the banners are still fucking there. They're still fucking there. Something fucked that up. Something fucked it up. They didn't all shatter. They're still in the fight, even though they're running away. And I've got a problem here because they're taking the fort. The timer's ticking down. I need to win both of these fights. I've got 2 fights now, and they're coming back.
Enemy have taken the tower.
It was always going to happen because they didn't shatter, and now they're starting to come back. So now I've got to fight them again, but they're in complete disarray, at least outside the fort. In the fort, they're flashing as well, but they are capturing the towers. They are threatening the capture point. I've got my retainers coming back to try and rescue that shit. But if you look at this, there's only a few units that have rallied. Most of them are still running. They haven't all mass rallied. They mass routed, but they didn't mass rally. And I'm trying to just squeeze every advantage I can get. I've got my retainers coming. I've got a unit of bows firing. I've got the towers flame arrowing. I'm trying to just collect every little advantage I can get, everything that I can use to turn the tide here, because it is really close. The balance of power is still totally against me, but the situation is looking really fucking messy. They've got a unit of Yari Samurai in there trying to hold the line to buy time for all these units to come back, but not many of them are coming back. I did so much damage. So many of them died in the shallows. They've got a lot of units that are fragmented. I think some units might have actually shattered. And I decided to take that charge. My retainers were in a good position there to push that advantage and charge that unit of Boashigaru down outside the fort. It was risky, but I took it. And it might give us the damage we need. It might set in the chain route again, battlefield wide. And this looks good. Look at that. I'm pulling a unit around to get the flank bonus. I need all of these morale penalties. I need all of them. Every single point for every second I can possibly get it. And that looks like it might be it, but there's a unit of Yari Ashigaru there coming back with more units behind. Have I done enough? Is the momentum on my side? And I'm capturing this tower. Look at this, I'm trying to capture towers. It's so close. It is so fucking close. And of course Masakage ran away because he got caught by the enemy general. One of them. And now they're trying to outflank me. But look at that. There's units shattering now. They've shattered, the shattering has started, and a unit is wavering there. That's it, one unit wavering, that's all that remains I think, everything else shattered. But back here I've still got the initial units that attacked right at the start. They finally made it into the fort, and I've got nothing in there. It's an empty fort strategy. But I've got all these little pieces of units that can still perform tasks, like capturing. Fucking come on! So close. And there's another 2 units of bows over there. So this unit of retainers with 23 men has covered so much ground. And if I can get a clean charge here, it could morale shock enough to cause a rout that could chain. And then the balance of power is looking even. And then these few units that remain might just all chain route. That was a clean charge. And there's a unit on the river coming back. And that's a good fight for them. 23 out of 60 with 2 XP. Oh, 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 oh. Come on! Oh, 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 oh. Oh my god. Oh my god. Didn't think a heroic victory was possible because I thought I would have taken too many losses. I don't understand that. I don't understand it. What the hell is that system? What the fuck? Oh my god, he survived! Holy shit. Holy fucking shit. Won it for you. The sole survivor of his unit. He could have died. He should have died. He probably would have died. And I would have had to have sent it back with this guy dead. But, oh my god. Hey, ranked up. Ranked up. Ooh. Crap retainers. What the fuck? That's a really hard retainer to get. Hard trait to get. Whoa. It doesn't ever usually happen. It's really difficult to get that. Whoa. Whew. Oh man. Oh my god. Bonus. That should help the rest of the campaign. Extremely valuable. The way that trait works is that if you win enough fights, losing 75% of your men, you roll a chance to get points in that trait, and then if you accumulate enough points by rolling that chance successfully enough times, you get War is Slaughter. I should probably make a video on making a guide for that shit to explain how it works, because that is extremely powerful, and this is one hell of a boon for this campaign. That's a big deal. And Shingen died, I think. Shingen died, and Masakage survived and ranked up. And got War is Slaughter. And there's Kenshin. Oh, that's decent. That's Bloodthirsty. That's the first level of Bloodthirsty, which is the best trait in the fucking game. That shit right there is why Shingen is so good. When he's not dead. Masakage, meanwhile, survives. Thanks to Illipa for the save, and keep them coming, folks. If you're liking the videos and want to spur me on, check out my Patreon page. Special thanks to Matteo Olivetti, Nerdington, the Rody451, and Halcyon.